Every empire begins with scarcity, not abundance. The hunger for survival and dominance sparks the first fire of wealth creation. Empires rise from ambition and discipline, not luxury. Gold and silver were not just metals, they were promises. Every economy starts with one shared belief that value must be real, earned, and scarce. Once wealth becomes measurable, law follows. Taxation, trade routes, and military protection all emerge to secure the system of value. With order comes growth. Markets flourish, cities expand, and culture thrives. Gold becomes not just money, but a mirror of national pride. When wealth feels secure, innovation explodes. Art, philosophy, and science thrive. Prosperity becomes the heartbeat of the empire. Ambition fuels armies. The empire grows outward, seizing resources to sustain its prosperity. But growth never satisfies. Expansion feeds greed, and greed blinds wisdom. Leaders begin to believe their empire is immortal. Trade grows faster than discipline. Wealth creation becomes abstract. Promises, credit, and future gains replace tangible value. As riches concentrate, inequality grows. The poor work harder, while the elite forget the cost of wealth. Corruption whispers through the corridors of power. Discipline turns into decadence. Paper replaces gold. Value becomes a decree, not a truth. The empire begins to inflate its own illusion. Debt becomes the new resource. Tomorrow's wealth is consumed today. When money loses its meaning, ethics follows. Honor is replaced by profit. Loyalty by opportunity. Economists, philosophers, and wise men warn, but they are silenced by the noise of prosperity. The empire glows brightest before dusk. Trade, culture, and conquest reach their zenith. Success becomes routine. Citizens forget hardship, and leaders forget history. Costs rise. Wars, projects, and luxuries demand more than taxes can provide. Borrowing becomes policy. Confidence in the currency wavers. Markets tremble. Whispers of instability grow. Empires never realize they're collapsing until they already are. As one empire fades, another learns for a time. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. The empire stands tall, its wealth seems limitless, its power unquestioned. Citizens believe their prosperity is destiny, not design. Commerce flows across oceans and deserts. New markets open, and wealth multiplies faster than ever imagined. With wealth comes curiosity. Empires invent, explore, and transform their world. Prosperity becomes the mother of progress. Art, music, and architecture flourish. Monuments rise, each built to declare, "We are eternal." Precious metals pour into the treasury. The currency gleams with purity. The markets pulse with confidence. Economy becomes diplomacy. Gold buys allies, shapes politics, and bends the world's will. Control of trade routes becomes the empire's greatest weapon. Navy, merchants, and bankers work as one. Wealth shifts from tangible gold to promises on parchment. Credit is born, the seed of invisible money. Bankers become the new rulers behind the throne. Money changes hands faster than armies move. Citizens grow accustomed to abundance. Luxury becomes necessity, and simplicity feels like poverty. The empire stretches to its natural limits. New colonies, vast conquests, endless supply of tribute. The empire's coin becomes the world's standard. Others trade in its money, trust its stability, and depend on its economy. With security comes greed. Traders gamble fortunes not on goods, but on future prices. Wealth becomes a game. Paper money spreads across the empire. It's faster, lighter, and easier, but weaker. Merchants replace warriors as symbols of success. The sword yields to the coin. Foreign nations now rely on the empire's currency. This dependence creates power and hidden danger. Luxury dulls virtue. The youth forget hardship. The elite forget humility. Prices quietly rise. The people feel wealthier, but their coins buy less. A silent decline begins. Money becomes power. Power becomes politics. Corruption finds fertile ground in abundance. The empire's glory blinds it to danger. The cycle is at its brightest and weakest. Every empire reaches a moment when wealth becomes too easy and effort too rare. Productivity slows, but consumption grows. Government projects multiply, wars expand, and leaders promise prosperity without cost. Borrowing becomes a habit. Future generations are quietly mortgaged for the comfort of the present. Gold is no longer enough. Paper promises become the new wealth, and the illusion deepens. Merchants, bankers, and rulers all discover the magic of debt, wealth created without effort. As money multiplies, value fades. Prices rise, but truth remains silent. The rich borrow cheaply, the poor pay dearly. Wealth concentrates, anger simmers. The empire produces less and imports more. Factories slow, farms shrink, and dependence rises. Instead of reform, leaders print more money, borrow more, and silence critics. Financial caution becomes outdated. Luxury replaces labor, and the empire forgets how it once earned its wealth. Citizens no longer believe in the value of their money. Confidence, the soul of currency, begins to die. Bribes replace merit. Manipulation replaces integrity. Every institution becomes infected by greed. Inflation devours savings. Those who built the empire are crushed between taxes and prices. Riots spread. Citizens demand answers as leaders promise illusions. Currency becomes a tool of control, not exchange. Inflation and interest enslave the very people it was meant to serve. What once was a kingdom of gold becomes a kingdom of credit. The illusion is total, the collapse inevitable. Allied nations depend on the empire's money. When it weakens, the world trembles. Markets crash. Traders flee. The emperor calls for calm, but fear spreads faster than truth. New leaders rise, promising reform, but once trust breaks, it cannot be easily repaired. When money dies, empires follow. It's not armies that destroy civilizations, it's debt. It never happens slowly, it's sudden, like a dam breaking after years of silent strain. The people no longer trust their rulers, their money, or even their future. Gold, land, and food become the new money. The paper empire dissolves overnight. Old leaders fall, and chaos breeds ambition. Each faction claims to have the solution. Once vibrant harbors grow silent. Ships rot as foreign merchants flee. When trust dies, power turns to the sword. Rebellions erupt, and cities burn. The rich escape first, carrying what's left of the empire's wealth abroad. Famine follows. The same citizens once promised endless prosperity, now beg for survival. Other nations watch. Some mourn, others prepare to take the crown. When collapse is total, the books are burned. The currency reset begins. A new system rises, simpler, harder, purer.
The slate is wiped clean.
Once again, people rediscover that wealth is built, not printed. Labor, skill, and honesty return. From ruins, new leaders emerge, humble, focused, and disciplined. It takes years, sometimes generations, but slowly faith returns. A new coin is minted, a new promise made, but this time it's backed by lessons, not greed. As stability grows, invention returns. Trade reopens. Prosperity begins anew. But history has a cruel humor. Over time, the new system forgets the old mistakes. Debt, greed, expansion. The familiar pattern returns, disguised as progress. No empire falls by chance. It falls by design, the design of human nature. From gold to debt, from strength to ruin, and then rebirth again. The empire wealth cycle never fails because it is not an economic law, it's a human one.